It's Week 16 of the NFL. And coming up, we've got Aaron Rodgers. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Jets and the Seahawks, and it's kicking off next on Madden NFL 24.
It's an afternoon probably best suited for skating in Central Park, but we're across the river, and we are in for a cold one at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. It is Week 16 in the NFL, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the New York Jets. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Jets ball club. It's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they'll be led out by a guy who has a couple years under his belt in the NFL, their third-year quarterback.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw one touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards. The numbers on the ground for Walker a week ago. 21 carries, 57 yards.
Not a horrendous week last week running the ball, but definitely room for improvement for their numbers. No doubt they made some slight adjustments to how they're going to call plays this week in hopes they can kick those numbers up a notch.
Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Well, it's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions, can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
So the Jets now in great position here to start things out. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
And last week's loss came despite a clean game on his end, throwing the ball with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. His job this week is simple. Do it again. Continue to avoid turnovers and hope that what sunk them last week resolves itself this time around.
And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. Here's 2nd and 3. On play action, Rodgers. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Rodgers now to throw. Able to get away. The throw out wide going to be incomplete. Just what Seattle was hoping for. The coverage holds, and now 4th down.
Tight defense there on 3rd down, but what a product of good coaching and even better execution because he realized he's in field goal range, no sense forcing anything, and he made sure he didn't.
And he'll be brought down very close to the spot he needed, and it's going to wind up being enough. Maybe by less than a football, but a conversion nonetheless on 4th and 3. On 1st down, Rodgers. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. Now a 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, a run with Hall. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play. Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
And this one is right through. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. With a play fake, and now here's how to throw it. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Malik Harrison coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
Even keeping the back in for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Taken from just outside the 30. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. So we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC as the Jets come back out on offense. Good starting position for the Jets as they come up 1st and 10 at their 38. Strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
First play of the drive, a 1st down run. Well, that sets you up for whichever way you want to go. Do you come right back and run the football again because you've got them on their heels? Or do you play chess match with them, break tendency, and go play action and go for the big shot?
Well, he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
Kind of a dangerous throw there. He's off balance when he gets rid of it. But this is all about a quarterback knowing what he can get away with. And that time, it turns into a completion and a healthy gain as well.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. This will be caught at about the 6. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. They'll toss it out right here to Hall. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. They'll run with Hall. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted. They'll run with Hall. And he is in. Touchdown, New York. Breece Hall with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
The extra point splits the uprights, and the lead grows to 10-0. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Well, the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Off play action. It's Howell. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. John Franklin Myers. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They definitely got to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. It's taken to the 26. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Jets will take over this offense, and Garrett Wilson headed back out. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he's
and Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. To throw is Rodgers. Hitting Samuel on the slant. So the completion good for 6 yards. And 3rd and 8 now. To throw, it's Rodgers. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from MetLife Stadium. The Jets with the football here. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. And Wilson in motion left. And they're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. And this is not going to work as planned. He's going to be met and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Open man here is Conklin. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
And that is no good. He hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in, and the lead will hold at 10. Boy, 4th and 2. This crowd was urging them to go for it, certainly. Instead, they settle for the field goal try, and then they come up with nothing.
Brandon, yeah, football coach won't let the crowd dictate how he calls a football game. He stuck to his guns. But after the miss, Now there's 70,000 coaches in the stands thinking they were right.
On first down, Howell has it complete to Jackson Smith and Jigba. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Walker. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
Howell trying to pick it up on 3rd. That is caught. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3.
So how would you describe that one, partner? Workmanlike right there, getting that first down, blue-collar type football?
Yeah, only needed 3, got 4, just enough. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Back to throw, Howell. This is Fant on the short completion. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Throwing here, Howell. He's got his target. That's complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Powell. He completes this to Walker. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal. Walker going to be stopped before he can get moving forward as he'll lose a couple back to the 5-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. And Howell will throw it. And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. Jermaine Johnson drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
And his kick is good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So the 3rd drive's the charm. They are on the board, albeit with just a field goal.
Yeah, 3 points from 3 drives. That's not going to win you a whole lot of football games. Hopefully the fact they were able to move the ball a little bit can wake up their offense.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They'll start on the ground. Hall. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Paul on a give up the middle. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 48 yards rushing for him now to this point. The Jets on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 16. Here's Rodgers. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw here pulled in by Lazard. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. And again, it's Rodgers. This pass out wide to Hall. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the gun, it's Rodgers. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Jets go up by 2 touchdowns. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is now 17-3. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This taken in right around the goal line, and running with power here. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. But the Jets pressure 2 notches. Down he goes. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Returnable here from the 38. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets back out there. 5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, the body types of the receivers are...
Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And the Seahawks are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered, they'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them, because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. Everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. Well, their defense got them the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, in the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I almost expect you coming like an auctioneer. We've got two. Do I hear three? Remember, it was 2 in a row. Would we hit 3 in a row? Because these offenses, they got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders, they're locked in and really focused.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. A throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
Rodgers going to throw. He finds Wilson. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Garrett Wilson with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Jets will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Seahawks going to take over now late in this first half. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Howell now to throw it. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. 2nd and 10. Howell, he'll look to throw it. Under pressure, and down he goes. Quentin Williams in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We were treated to a solid first half out of the running back, Breece Hall. He found the end zone twice, once on the ground and once in the passing game, as he proved he's anything but a one-dimensional running back.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. And the Jets set to receive this 3rd quarter kickoff, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in the second half. And the half will begin with a touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. This pass complete. He finds Jeremy Ruckert. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. Rodgers now to throw. Complete to Zacchaeus. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
On 3rd down, here's Hall. Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Here's Johnny Hacker now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Returnable for Lockett. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. Now they go play action with Howell. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Here's Howell. That is incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays.
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. C.J. Mosley, the linebacker, making sure his presence is felt.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A little juke. So possession goes over here on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
Rodgers now on 1st down. Got a man. That's Lazard. And he's brought down. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
Rodgers.
And he will find his man Samuel. And he's going to get this inside the 30.
16 more on that one and another 1st down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And he is going to lose yardage here. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of 1st downs, and here a loss of yardage. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. That'll put him close to 100 yards receiving. He's at 98, and he's got a 1st down.
And this is what it's been like all game long. Guys running free in the middle of the field. This defense has just had no answer for this passing game. And that's another good hook up there.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. On 1st and 10, it's Hall.
And he stopped immediately there. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Now Rodgers. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22.
Boye Mafe
Able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Now the Jets will call on the field goal unit here. And this a 39-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Only 3 points there, but I got to think at this point in the third quarter, that's all you're really looking for.
And right now the lead is 3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions. So you and I both know a huge order for the best of teams. And from what we've seen so far, hard to believe that that's a likely scenario. 3 two-point conversions? That's difficult.
And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Seahawks again now ready to take over on offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
First down, Howell to throw. Catch is made by Metcalf. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
This is Fant on the short completion. And now following the completion, we're going to get a stoppage here for an injury. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Howell throwing on 1st down here. And Walker has it. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
And Lockett going to pick up a Seahawks 1st down as he'll get this down inside the 20. Back to throw, Howell. Outright to Smith and Jigba. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's 2nd down.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5 at the 13-yard line.
Another throw for Howell. This will be caught at about the 6. And the Seahawks are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line. One quarter remains here in Week 16. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Throwing here, Howell. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Howell, 3rd and goal. And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass. And the Seahawks are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the 4th quarter after that one, CD. And, well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, and I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense and make sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. New York set to take the field.
Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the fourth quarter, Charles, but you got the football. You're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge out to the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
On first down, right back to Hall.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 39-yard line.
They'll go again with Hall.
And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down. Now whistles come in before the snap. Looked like one of the Jets may have moved. This O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so, because if we were grading them on their performance in this game, a lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
Straight ahead is Hall.
And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it.
And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside.
On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
They'll throw on first down. Here's Howell. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Sauce Gardner picks it off.
And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Handoff, running left. Here's Hall.
And he's going to be stopped at about the 37.
67 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. So from the 37, here's second down and 3.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers.
To the sideline and incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
So they decline the hold, and that's going to lead to a 4th down.
They'll go for it. It's Rodgers.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Wilson's got it complete. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
From the 20, here's 2nd and 4.
Now Rodgers.
Going right back to Wilson.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Working from the gun, Rodgers.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
They are certainly not letting up on the pressure in this one, and oftentimes you hear this expression, all gas, no break from defenses. But in this case, it's the offense still throwing the football up big in the fourth quarter.
They had nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on third. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And this defense definitely in his head there on third down, and he's pretty fortunate. They didn't call for grounding on this one. That was a good 10 feet over everyone's head.
And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
The offense on third down, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 15. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
4th down, Howell, desperation time. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
It's a gain of 20. And the Seahawks first down.
Howell looking to throw again.
This is Fant on the short completion. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it'll be 2nd down.
Howell now to throw it.
And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And the Jets are going to get the football here in great field position. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, you know, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? You want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
Ball again on 2nd down.
And he's going to be met at about the 43.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, It's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
And that will bounce out of bounds before they can get a return going. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense.
Well, probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to this stage.
Howell from the gun.
And he is not going to get away. The rush was too strong, and this is going to wind up a safety. And this defense has been smothering all game long. Why not give them 2 more points here in the closing minutes?
Well, they've certainly earned it. They've gotten the better of this offensive line for 4 quarters, and this sack here will just be a little icing on the cake.
So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away.
On the return, here comes Lewis. New York ready to go again offensively. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the fourth quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. Now Hall to start the drive.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
And hang on here. We've got an injured player, and that's the running back, Breece Hall. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. On second down, it's Abanikanda.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Brings up 3rd and 8.
Throwing is Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Johnny Hacker now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now we're going to get a Seahawk injured on the play.
Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. Howell to the air on 1st and 10.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Off play action. It's Howell. Finding Smith and Jigba downfield.
And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 29-yard line.
Howell, he'll look to throw it.
And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
This is caught. Touchdown, Seahawks.
DK Metcalf with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Seahawks are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
He has his 2 scores, but still a sizable deficit in this game.
Do you have him in fantasy football this week?
Unfortunately, no.
It's too bad, right? That would have been big points, but he is really trying to rally his team as best he can. things are not going as well the rest of the way for them. That's why they're down with this deficit. He might need to score a couple of more times to give them a chance.
So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
So it's a victory here for the New York Jets.
And they've got to feel good about this performance. I think you'd agree, matched up against a top 5 defensive unit in the league, and they pretty much had their way.
Yeah, that was the interesting part about it, because normally when we see this defense play, they have their opportunities and they make their plays, don't they? They knock them back on their heels. They take the ball away. They change field position. In this case, what you said is so apt. They had their way with them, took it to them, and knocked them back on their heels and surprised the heck out of them.
So for the Giants, it's a rare peak in a season of valleys as they move to 3-12 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, it's another loss as they now fall to 4-11. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.